Hi everybody, I am Preeti from Edurup Learning. I'm a Java and MERN full stack trainer. In today's video, we will be learning about HTML and its fundamentals. Without a further ado, let's get started. What is HTML stands for? HTML stands for HyperText Markup Language. Hypertext means link which is in the text format. That is what we call it as hypertext. Link within a link in the text format. Markup means it's a predefined, the ready-made one, already existing one, that we can call it as markup. Then language. Language is used for a communication purpose. I'm using the English language to communicate with you people. That is what we were using a language as a communication purpose. Here we were using HTML language. Okay. Next, what is HTML? HTML is a standard markup language which is used for creating web pages. The next, HTML describes the structure of a web page. HTML describes the structure of a web page, and HTML elements tell the browser how to display the content. Nowadays, if you see in the internet, everything it is implemented by HTML only, which means whichever you see on the internet, the web pages that is created by HTML. How HTML elements guides the browser, tells the browser. It tells the browser that content to show and how to structure it. Okay. Next, we were learning about web browser. Web browsers. Usually we were using web browsers as a Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Safari. These are the best example for the web browser. What is the purpose of the web browser? The purpose of a web browser is to read HTML documents and which has to display them correctly. So that is what the main purpose of a web browser. It is always used to read the HTML documents and it should display them correctly. The content should be displayed on the web page in a correct format. That is what the main reason of a web browser. So it's a very important role in HTML, that is web browsers. Now we learned about web browsers. Next, going ahead with the HTML versions list. The first version which is released in the 1991, that is 1.0 version. HTML 2.0 version, it is released in the 1995, and 3.2 version is released in the 1997, and 4.01 it is released in the 1999. XHTML, which means that Extensible Hypertext Markup Language, which is released in 2000. And finally, we have a latest version here. That version is HTML 5.0 version, which is released in the year of 2014. Suppose I'll tell a real-time example. Suppose I just want to buy a mobile. What I'll see the feature, latest version I'll see. The same thing which has happened here also. The software versions are released. These are all old versions. This is the latest version. Okay. Then now we were using HTML 5.0 version. Okay. Now, invention of HTML. Who invented HTML? The HTML was first developed by Tim Berners-Lee in the year of 1990 with the assistance of his colleagues at CERN, an international scientific organization based in Geneva. So now you got the point that he's who developed this HTML means you have to say Tim Berners-Lee. Okay. Now we learned about HTML versions and who invented HTML. Next we were learning about the page structure. HTML page structure. Example. For example, suppose if human body is consisting of head and body part. Like way, here also we have a head and body part in the HTML structure. Very simple. Head and body. What is this HTML tag we say? The tag. What is tag? Tag it is whatever which comes under the angular brackets, we call it as a tag in HTML. Okay. The tag, inside that we are writing the HTML, which means that HTML tag it is. Then this is a structure in which we have head and one more, that is what? The body tag. Okay. Inside a head we have a title tag. Inside a body we have the content. The content, which means the heading, paragraph, anything which comes under the body tag itself. Okay. Next, we were learning about the explanation of the page structure. Okay. See, HTML start and end with HTML tag, and here inside a head we have what we have the title tag, and the next we have a body tag. The body tag, this is where the most of the visible web content appears. The content part we will be writing in the body tag itself. Next we are having an example of the HTML structure. This is what the example. So for the writing this thing HTML, we were using editors over here. Editors, many editors were available, but initially the basically we were using it as first start with Notepad itself. The Notepad, inside the Notepad we were writing the structure here. The structure which starts with HTML tag and starts with HTML tag, insert that head and body tag. Okay. This is, I just wanted to display in my web page my first heading and my first paragraph. So we took an example here. This is how we were writing the example. Today you learned about the basic concept of HTML and structure of the HTML, some fundamentals of the HTML, and one example. Okay, thank you.